I'm here with Shifting Tides and the Irish Ocean Literacy Network, and we've been gathering here listening to different perspectives about Carlingford Lough.
So who is the Irish Ocean Literacy Network? The network itself was started back in 2016, and it came out of a project called the Sea Change Project, which at the end of the project brought together a community of people who said the one thing they wanted to happen at the end was for a network of people to be formed. When people often think of ocean literacy, I suppose it's not a single task. It's not a box to be ticked. It's not an add-on to an EU project. It's not a workshop, and it's not a lesson plan. Ocean literacy is an outcome. You have to consider your audience, their prior knowledge, their values and motivations, their access to blue spaces. I grew up on a farm in Tipperary. It took a while to get to the sea. Their trust and transparency of information and knowledge and where information is coming from, and their community and family. And finally, I suppose the most probably important one, their culture and heritage. Nowhere is this more evident than here in Carlingford and in Omeath, where we see shifting tides.
I'm here today because I'm the chairperson of the Lock Keepers Association, and I came with Morris, another member, and we wanted to make links and find out information about other groups working in the area. The Lock Keepers started initially because of the impact of pollution from the harbour at the time, noise and odour pollution. And then when we started to form a group, we started to think wider than that. We started to think about the pollution in the whole loch. We started to think about the need to protect the loch, not only in our little area, but right round and up to Slieve Gullion and Armagh, County Armagh, which all feed into our loch. And we want to now make links with all the other groups in the area, and we want to promote biodiversity and protection.
I travelled from West Cork with two of my colleagues just outside Bantry, Glengariff area. We're part of the Seascapes community in West Cork, and we came here to connect with other like-minded ocean lovers to network, to find out how we can support our local environment and how we can be creative about it.
So I live locally. I live beside Greenore and on the shores of the loch, and I'm also a recreational diver from Dundalk Sabaqua. And as part of that, I'm really in a privileged position to be able to explore what's underneath our water and document it.
I was on the Citizen Science panel today, talking about the film I'm making with scuba divers and their journey to becoming citizen scientists.
We're listening to people talking about citizen science and diving and shore surveying, and we're also learning a lot about where the role of data in our marine environments plays into marine planning and protection and hopefully future restoration.
By being involved in Sea Search, we forensically document what we see on a dive, and then we send our findings away and they go to a national database.
Why citizen science? So I suppose one of the answers to that is that citizen science is cheaper. It's not free, but it is cheaper to run maybe than traditional or professional science services.
It's been really important to come today. I got to meet people I knew before, but also meet new people. It's been fascinating talking to the divers. They've been telling me about all the life in the water and even the discovery of new seagrass beds, which is so fascinating because that's what I study. And I'm just glad that we've been able to share some of our local knowledge again, because recording that and sharing it means that it can be used in really important ways.
So I really found the information about how to document what is actually going on in the sea and how to be gentle and mindful of what's in our beautiful waters around us. What are we looking at? How to document it and how to put it into the database is really important, and how to nurture what we have in our own community, how to recognize what is unique to our part of the world. I really like that. I'm so inspired to get more involved in that aspect of it. Yeah, I'm going to start free diving. I'm so excited.
Look at another film now by Anna called Body of Water.
Water's a very special element I think it's a really healing substance. It just resets you, rebalances me, and puts things into perspective.
Everything slows down, your body slows down, I feel your mind slows down, your movements are slower, what you see in the water is slower. So that for me is just magical, really. It's magical. We're all part of that. We are no different from these animals or these marine creatures. We just think we are. We're part of a chain, and it's all very like thin line connected.
So when I'm submerged under the water, I see a whole other world that I'm privileged to see, and also it has nothing to do really with humans. That species can survive on their own without any human interference always amazes me. And then when I'm above the water, I see the damage that human beings do to that existence.
Local live in Templeton Beach. The sea, it's a front yard, it's a front garden. Obviously interested in what's happening out there. We're all, like they said on the film, we're all a part of a chain, and I don't want to be the weakest link.
I've been working here in Carlingford with the oyster guys since 2011, and during that time I have seen a real paradigm shift from a almost them and us approach, where you have industry and people who are commercially interested in a species or an area of the loch, and scientists and the community groups, and it has been quite siloed. I think what I got out of being part of the Fishery Exchange project is starting to see those silos breaking down, and starting to see people understand that we're actually all in the same sphere. We're just looking at it from slightly different angles, and there's a lot to be done by working collaboratively.
And if we look at the sea area through which the Republic of Ireland is responsible, that's enormous. And a lot of it is also a long way from the coast. So it's quite difficult to engage communities in with those. And this requires a creative approach to be able to have that kind of community buy-in.
Shifting Tides is a project with artists. So we've been listening to the ways in which artists have engaged part of the story that needs to be told about the future of Carlingford Lough.
I hadn't worked with artists in that way before, and the first meeting that I had with Suzanne, she was asking me about my research process, and I was explaining how I take samples from the field and prepare them in the lab for analysis, and she was like, that's exactly how I make pigments. I was like, what? And then at the first meeting, she brought along a painting of a crab that she'd done, where she'd used sand and sediment and stuff to make the pigments, so the crab was all textured. And I just thought, this is like the coolest thing in the world.
It's essential that these sorts of creative processes, whether they be through the arts or whether they be through other initiatives that empower local communities and value their existing place-based knowledge, is going to be important as we try and achieve goals around resilience and capacity building, whether that be under the UN Decade of Ocean Science, or whether it be under other national or international initiatives.
Today's been important because, number one, it gets to showcase the loch and the marine habitat that is there. You also get to meet people and talk about maybe things that are threatened, that the loch is threatened with.
I met a very nice man called David who talked about the impact of noise pollution on the sea life. And we have been looking at noise pollution on humans, and now we can look at noise pollution on the impact it has on the life under the water.
So at the end of the day, we're going to really enact what we've been talking about all day indoors. We're going to go outdoors onto the shore here of Carlingford Lough and have a look at some of the marine plants and animals on the intertidal. Yeah, so the practical side of citizen science is a huge bonus when we're trying to encourage people to get involved in marine conservation. People don't protect what they don't understand, and they don't protect what they don't experience. So by getting people onto the shore, looking at plants and animals, marine species up close and personal, and getting familiar with them, they get more enthused about those animals and plants themselves and about protecting them and their habitats.